How's it going, everybody? Just go ahead and do another video here for you.
Hi.
Just because granddaughter wants to get in. But yeah, so if you're watching this on YouTube, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know below what you think of your opinions. I'll answer your opinions, your questions, and so forth. Otherwise, if you are watching this on Facebook, then definitely follow me on Facebook. We are close to we're close to being halfway to 5,000 followers on Facebook. Aim is at least get 10,000 on Facebook. We're past 5,000 on Twitter, close to 5,400 on Twitter. So any of those you want to, so you can go to the About tab on my YouTube channel. I have the links to my social media platforms. So, especially if you want to follow me. So right now, the question I'm going to be answering is, what thought process do you use to go about in terms of writing character dialogue? So character dialogue. So the way a lot of character dialogue is done, at least from what I do, is to try to write it to where it services the story, and at the same time that it services the story, and I've also did it for characters that are talking about situations, and if you have characters that are talking to each other, those characters bounce off of each other. So in a way with dialogue, somebody had described it earlier as like a game of ping pong or tennis, which is a good example. So as you see here on the screen, what I have, so pretty much like characters, they'll talk about something, and then you'll have a character that reacts to what that character said, and then, but maybe this character that says something didn't like how that character responded to it, so they're going to react to what that character said, and so forth. So it just makes the dialogue come off smoothly. It makes it come off clean. It keeps a steady flow of it. And I actually jumped on this too because there was a lot of people who said they weren't very good at dialogue. So this is just like a page with some dialogue examples, like use ellipses to avoid saying hard things. So her arms had a lovely tan, although a scatter of raw pink patches marred the skin. But when wrist scars, Dolly stared at them. Kitty, are those yours? She faltered. On your arms, are they? And then Kitty responds to saying, burns, I made them myself. So, kind of, and you can make it realistic. Like it says here, this character is trailing off because she's trying to understand what the other character had experienced. And as you see in this dialogue, this character pretty much adds on to what she's trying to say. Like, she's correcting what she's trying to say. So that could be one example of dialogue. So I make characters. You can make a character say slang, stutter, like you said here, trailing off. When you have a truth that a character can't acknowledge, don't make them say it out loud. Let them be interrupted. Let them stop talking. Make them trail off. Alright, so yeah, so it says avoiding a word and making the other character say it always increases the power of that word. So that kind of, so when your readers are looking at that too, and I actually do like this type of dialogue, but this is essentially how I do write it. I don't necessarily follow this, but I have kind of, one thing that's helped me out is by reading books with dialogue, watching movies, and see how characters talk back and forth to each other. Usually that helps me out with dialogue too. So that way you have, I have a couple scenes. I've written a scene where a character was saying something, was interrupted by another character, and then went back to that same thought, but continued that thought in another sentence. So that can give you another idea of dialogue, because then the person looks at like, okay, this person was trying to say something, but they were cut off, but they still had that thought that they had to get out of their head. Just it's an idea of adding realism or relatability to your characters. Essentially, what it is. Use retorts for boring dialogue. Like here, for Cloud Atlas. I read Cloud Atlas. That's a good book. So, good morning, began the woman. I beg to differ. My name is Gwendolyn Ben Dinks. Don't blame me. So, yeah. So, rather than just somebody saying, good morning, yeah, how are you doing? The sun sure is like something like that that's boring. Add a little something, add a little spice to your dialogue is pretty much what it's saying. And then here's, speed up your dialogue. Tell me you're going to ask Helen to marry you, couldn't, but you didn't. And she got so upset. Yeah, so this is faster. So this is like that. This is like that really quick, snappy dialogue, rather than long dialogue. Switch the topic. Use punctuation to pace your dialogue. Lie and call attention to it. Be evasive. Just all these things usually. So I actually go by some of these, like I said, some of these examples in here. Although I don't use this, I actually just looked this up before I hopped on this video. But these are just like examples of dialogue that you can use, especially if you're not very good at it. Again, I ran into a couple of my writers on the page. I don't want to call it any names or anything, but like, there are some writers on there that said they're not very good at dialogue. These would just be prime candidates. These are prime examples. And the thing you don't want to do is use dialogue to tell the story. You want to use dialogue to give the characters personality. When characters disagree with each other, maybe this character doesn't agree with what this character's saying because both their personalities, if they ran into each other in real life, they would clash. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind as well too. So, and say just like a lot of pretty good examples here. I think a lot of really good examples to use. Just try to keep, like I said, the dialogue fresh. Again, keep it realistic. Like this here. This is a character calling out another character for lying. I'm sorry if I kept you awake last night. I was restless. I need to take a walk. No, I went right to sleep, she said, which was not true. I tried to be quiet. I didn't hear a thing. That was also not true. She had heard him coming through the door a little after 3. So, just little things to boost your dialogue. Use dialogue attribution for pacing. Repetition of the exact phrase between characters. I actually do this a lot. This is really vital, I think. The reason why I think it is because it's to show that the characters are listening to each other, and they're staying. It also shows that they're staying on the same topic, and they understand what each other's talking about. And then this is direct dialogue. I do this a lot too. Direct dialogue. So yeah, I think this is the one I was talking about where they go back and forth. So like, this is the one I was talking about where a character will say something, and then the other character responds to what that character says, and then the other character responds, and so forth. So like, for instance, this is a really good example, I think. Where's your mother? Charlie asks. Dead. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you, but she was always dead. Tell us about your girl, I said. Her name is Anna, and her hair is the color of honey. It's the cleanest hair I've ever seen. It runs halfway down to the ground. I'm in love with her. Are your feelings reciprocated? I don't know what that word means. Does she love you? See, so that is a really good example. This is actually, like I said, I've never used this before, but this is the type of dialogue I definitely stick to. I love this dialogue right here because again, it's the characters are bouncing off of each other. When one character talks about this person's mother, the other person responds with, "Well, she's dead," and then the other guy responds back with, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that," and then the person's like, "Well, thank you, but she's always been dead." So that's always that back and forth. Like this dialogue thread connects to this one, which connects to this one, which connects to this one, and so forth. So that's how I write my dialogue. Um, so just some examples there for you guys, especially the ones that told me they didn't know how to write dialogue that well. So well, that'll be it for this video actually. So I think we've been kind of going for a while. So again, like, comment, subscribe on the channel, the page, everything. Hit me up on social media as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.